Today I randomly decided to, do you hear that loud bird? So loud. But today I decided to start filming a reading vlog. I just have been in a huge fantasy kick lately, and I just wanted to read and vlog and talk about this book that I got, Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. There's no specific reason that I chose this one to start vlogging. I just felt like giving it a go. So yeah, I mean, I have no other thoughts. There's no other thoughts or feelings, just this is what we're doing. There will be no spoilers in this book. In this vlog, I will talk about the plot and kind of what's going on, but I will stay far away from any major spoilers or anything like that. So I think that's all I have to say. I think we should just get started. So I'm about exactly 100 pages in to Daughter of No Worlds, and I'm liking it so far. There's a couple of things that give me the ick, but for the most part, we're having a good time. I like our main character. I think Carissa Broadbent does a good job of creating female characters who are very determined and have a very clear-cut motivation as to what they want and why they want it. I've only read one other book by her, Serpent of Wings and... Serpent of Ruin? Wings and Ruin? No, that's Sarah J. Maas. Wings and Night? I read that one, and I feel like the main character in that story kind of had the same vibe as the main character in this story, which I understand can annoy some people, but it's fine with me. We did start off with kind of like a lot happening at once, which is pretty typical of fantasy, but sometimes that really bothers me. I like kind of a slow-paced beginning. I like a lot of world building. I like a lot of explanation. It takes a lot of that kind of stuff for me to really buy into a story and to really care about what's happening in the world. Whereas with this book, I feel like she literally just said, there's 2 orders. We want to be a part of the orders. This is what the orders do. And then the story just starts. And I feel like it's hard for me to really care when I haven't really been given a lot of build up to that. And it's just told to me that I'm supposed to care about these things. So that's kind of my qualm with the first couple chapters, was just that it wasn't even info dump, because it's like not a lot of information, but we're just told like, this is what's happening. And you're just supposed to be like, okay, I'm here for it. And it's hard for me to do that. That being said, I did appreciate how we were introduced to our male lead character. I like him so far. He's grumpy. He's kind of a dick. I appreciated when we meet him, we're given a description of like what he looks like, and it's not like the most gorgeous male I've ever seen in my life walked in the room. I hate that. I hate that so much, and that's so common in fantasy stories, especially fantasy stories with fae, but we didn't get that. She's just like, oh, he's got black hair and he's got really nice blue eyes. And then we just continue on, and he's like kind of an asshole, and so I thought that was done well. What else? There is a character who we meet in the first couple of chapters that we then are separated from, and our main character really cares about him as her friend, and I'm struggling to care about that character because we only saw him for like 2 chapters, and now we're supposed to care about getting back to him and saving him and his well-being and all of this stuff, and I just like don't really care because I only met him for like 2 seconds. So I'm struggling with that a little bit. I also was kind of given the ick by, okay, so our main character is, I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but I don't really know what the right way is. She's called fragmented. So she's like half albino. There's like albino characters in this story, and they serve in the order and have a specific kind of like job, career, purpose. But our main character is not full albino, so she's called fragmented. Anyway, I like that this is in here for the representation of this type of character with this like specific skin condition. I don't know that it is completely chill to use that as a plot device. I haven't really decided how I feel about it yet. It's kind of given me the ick, but it's also kind of like, I'm glad that it's there and we have a character who isn't just like beautiful and perfect and like normal. Like she has, I don't know the right way to say it, and I'm stressed about it now. But she has this condition, and it's like it's stigmatized in her world, and she faces like challenges because of it. And so I think that's nice, but I also am just like, is that okay to use that as just like a fantasy plot point? Does that make sense? I also kind of got the ick because our main character is from one place and she has traveled to another place where she does not speak the language, and she's learning the language as she's there. But in the writing, like the way she speaks is like, she'll literally be like, me no understand. And like, I just don't love that. I think there could have maybe been a better way to show that she's like learning the language as we go. Does that make sense? Like why I'm kind of not like thrilled about that? Like it's definitely not making fun of how she's talking, but it feels icky to like read from, I don't know. But those are two very specific things that I got a weird feeling from, but I haven't decided how I feel about completely. So we'll see how that goes. But I like the story. I like the characters. I like where it's going. I just kind of wish we had a little bit more of a slow build up to the action. But I think now that they're kind of starting to get it going and get on their journey and accomplish their goals or whatever, I think I'm going to be able to pick it up and like fall into it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the first 100 pages. I'll check back in with you a little later. I made a quiche. She looks cute. I did shallots, garlic, and chives. And now I don't even want to eat it. Do you ever do that where you cook and then the thing is ready and then you don't want to eat it? But that's okay. Okay, please ignore the hair situation. I just worked out at home and read like another 100 pages while I was cooling down, so I look like trash. But we are at about the 200 page mark in Daughter of No Worlds, and my biggest struggle with this book so far is really just connecting to the story and the characters. I find myself having a really hard time caring, and I think it's because everything does feel a little rushed, and like we're not getting enough detail, and like I said before, enough of the world building and just enough like backstory about our characters. Like we're starting to get a little about Max's history, but I don't know, like we just had kind of a big battle scene. It was our first like introduction to the war that's been brewing, and I just like wasn't that invested while it was all happening, and I wanted to care and I wanted to be worried and I wanted to like be on the edge of my seat, but it just happened so fast and had such little build up to it that I really just struggled to like, I don't know, I'm just having a hard time connecting to it. But it's okay, I'm still enjoying it. I still like our characters. I like Tasana, I like Max, I like Youre as kind of a bad guy question mark. So yeah, I like our characters and I like what's happening. It's just not like really hitting for me, and that's okay. Not all books are gonna do that. I would say right now my rating prediction is probably like a 3-star, which is good. Like a 3-star is just a flat, like good. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's where we're at. I think we're about to really get some more character development and relationship development with Tasana and Max, which I'm excited for. And I think we're about to get a little bit more like new characters that come in as we kind of build toward this like political and like war kind of climax or whatever as this is unfolding. So I'm excited to see more of where Tasana's training with the Order goes as well. I think that that's going to be cool. She's supposed to have a big test coming up, and I always like those kinds of scenes. So I think that'll be fun. But yeah, that's where I'm at now at around page 200, and I will check in again with you guys later. And to also say a little bit about the magic system here, I don't love it. There's no rhyme or reason to this magic system. It's like she just like makes these butterflies with her hands, and Max just like has fire, and they're like, sometimes some people can do both, and there's no rules and there's no specificity to it, and there's not even really a name for their kinds of powers. And I think I want that in a fantasy story. Like I want there to be more strict guidelines and like that kind of stuff for using the magic, and I don't know. So that was just something that I thought about that I'm not like loving. Like I like the magic that they do. I just wish it was explained more. Like there's no explanation and there's no, like I said, rules or like structure or anything like that. And I want there to be more of that. So yeah. Okay, it's officially the next day and we have worked out, we've taken a shower, we have had coffee, we've eaten breakfast, and we're ready to continue reading. But first I wanted to update you because I have just officially arrived at part 2, which, surprise, surprise, is from Max's point of view. So that's exciting. I wasn't expecting that, but I think we're here for it. This is Barkus, by the way. The last like 79, 80 pages that I read, I enjoyed. I haven't said a whole lot about the plot, which I don't know if I should do that or not. I don't want to spoil anything, but I also like want to tell you what it's about. But anyway, Tisana has this mission, which is basically to go join this order and go back to her homeland and free all the slaves that live there, to put it succinctly. And the person that she thought was going to help her do it is kind of trying to back out. And so she's really disappointed and she's like determined to accomplish this. So one of the things that she did in the last couple of chapters was she went to this like ball and she wore this dress that showed all of the scars on her back that she got from when she was whipped when she was a slave. And it like knocked the socks off of everyone, all of these like rich, privileged, like not self-aware people who like don't know or don't care about what's going on in other countries. And she like really made a statement and I thought that was awesome. And then this crazy thing happened where she was asked to be a weapon for the order in exchange for them helping her free the slaves in her homeland. And Max warned her not to do it. He was like, girl, whatever they ask you to do, say no. And she's like, but I can't. But my complaint about this is that it's very vague. They ask her to be a weapon, but they don't tell us what kind of weapon. And then this thing happens that doesn't really do a good job of explaining it. And I know that that may be intentional and like there to create suspense and to keep us interested, but I'm kind of annoyed by it and I would just rather you tell me what it is. Like I would just want to know what it is. So I feel kind of weird about, I guess like the way that we're receiving information is not my favorite. Like the order in which the information is delivered to us, the bits and pieces that we get at certain times. I wish we got more and I wish we got more up front. So that's kind of how my experience is going. But I'm excited to see Max's point of view. So I'll update you in a little bit after I have read some of that. Okay, so I'm on page like 400. Excuse my hair, I just took a nap. But I'm really enjoying the chapters from Max's perspective. All of part 2 is not from his perspective. It alternates between him and Tisana, but I do really enjoy getting to hear his voice, and I think it made me connect to him as a character a little bit better. We got some flashbacks and some memories from his past that were really heartbreaking, honestly, and so now I feel like I get Max a little bit more, which is what I needed. Everything's kind of coming to a head. They're going back to where Tisana is from to try and free some of the enslaved people there, and I don't know, I think that's gonna go probably not well, considering this is the first book of a trilogy, I think. So honestly, it's probably gonna go bad, like they'll, you know. But this weapon situation is very interesting. Tisana has been imbued with this weapon that is kind of like alive within her. It's made of raw magic, which I feel like is kind of a cop-out to just call something, oh, it's just raw magic. Very fantasy tropey, but it's like alive within her and talks to her inside of her head, which I think is interesting, and it used to be inside of Max. And so it knows Max and it hates Max, and so it kind of adds like some levels to the relationships there, and I think the dynamic is pretty cool. So I probably won't check in with you again until I finish it, because I think I've only got like 100 pages or so left. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so I just had to say something because I just read the sex scene. And listen, I'm no prude. I'm here for some good smutty scenes, but some of the words that she uses are just almost too much for me, like like into my core, and like plunges, and I just, that was something. That was something for sure. I don't remember minding it much in the other book, but I don't know, didn't love it. Like, just didn't love it this time. And this is not a sex thing. This is just like a cheesy line. It says, I wanted to memorize every sound she made, every expression, every freckle or mole, like I was a cartographer tattooing a map of her onto my soul. Still so many paths to chart. I don't know, I just like, these cliche lines just really like take me out of it, and they're not for me. Okay, so we finished Daughter of No Worlds. Yay. And while I didn't love it, I did like it. I did like it quite a bit. Okay, that was my dog being very loud. I don't have a lot of follow-up things to say other than what I've already said before. I liked the ending. There was a plot twist that I felt like was kind of a little bit confusing and kind of came out of nowhere, but I didn't hate it. I liked the build-up for the next book, which is already out and I already ordered it, so I'm definitely going to keep reading the series. Yeah, overall I thought it was good. I think the writing is fine. There's something about Carissa Broadbent's writing that doesn't always like click super hard with me. Like, I can appreciate it and I can read it, but I'm not like in love with it, and I'm not really like as engaged with it as I think I am with some other fantasy writing. But I definitely didn't think it was bad. I definitely thought the relationships between the characters are my favorite part, and their dynamics. The training aspect I really liked. The political aspects were fine. I just, like I said before, with all of these things, I just wanted more of it. And this book was 500 pages long, so I don't know where I would take things away and where I would add things to it, but I just wanted more detail, and I wanted things to be a little bit more fleshed out. And I think if this had even been split into 2 books, or if we had just lost certain parts to fill in those blanks and those gaps, that I probably would have liked it even more. But I don't know, I think it was good, and definitely I'm going to continue reading the series, and I'm going to continue reading other things by Carissa Broadbent. So let me know what you thought, and I will see you in the next reading vlog.